NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas returns for Monster Jam Stadium Championship Series West. It's the second stop in this building in 2024. This series is coming off of a very weird weekend last weekend in Anaheim, California, but the one thing that stood out over everything was Ryan Anderson and his continued dominance. He enters this weekend with a 16-point lead over Camden Murphy and an 18-point lead over Adam Anderson. And this is a one-event weekend for this series. So Camden and Adam really need to get some big ground picked up on Ryan this weekend. We'll see if they can get it done tonight on Monster Jam.
Hello everybody and welcome.
Hello everybody and welcome. Hello everybody and welcome.
Oh my! Oh! 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 Oh yeah!
And hello everyone, and welcome to another commentary here on the channel. Tonight, we are in Houston, Texas, inside of the legendary NRG Stadium for the third event inside of this building in 2024. Now, this is also a one-event weekend. I mentioned it in the open, but there's only one event for this series, Stadium Championship Series West, here this weekend, and it's just the Saturday night event, which is why we're also starting the commentaries on Friday this weekend. So a nice little break for me, especially after being away this past weekend. Let's start off by finding out who's competing in this event. We have Mike Christensen in Vendetta, who had a couple good moments so far throughout the season, hoping to get one here today. David Olford, Velociraptor, still has not been able to find a consistent rhythm, but has been pretty good. Chris Kohler, Montuma, man, what a fall off he's had recently. The last couple weekends have not been great for him. Let's hope that changes here tonight. Jim Kohler in Avenger has been doing a little bit better recently. The truck holding up a little bit better as well. Kayla Blood, Soldier Fortune, didn't do too much in Anaheim last weekend, except for winning her first freestyle competition of the season. Corey Rummel in Megalodon has had a pretty good season so far. He has not really been burning it up these last few weekends, though. Colt Stevens, Thunder Roars. He is always a consistent competitor and always a threat for every competition. Joe Foley, El Toro Loco, is fresh off of a freestyle win last weekend. Man, this guy is just killing it. So is Barry Sauer. Last weekend, Anaheim finally turned things around for him. He won the overall event on Sunday. Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. It's time to turn it around for Adam Anderson. He was in the lead, no longer in the lead. Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid, has also lost some ground on first place, but still holding strong in second. And finally, Ryan Anderson, son of a digger. What can I say about this guy other than he has been dominant? He is not stopping, killing everybody in every single competition. It is so great to see. And man, oh man, it is so nice. Also, it is not David Olford and Velociraptor this weekend. He's piloting the Rod Ryan Show truck, which you see here in this first race of the night, up against Joe Foley and El Toro Loco. David Olford will see if the Rod Ryan Show can bring him a little bit of luck. Velociraptor has not been doing too great for him tonight, and it's also a bit of a different view for him. He's a little far behind right now, though. Joe Foley with a big lead entering the final turn. Foley, oh, he gets up on two wheels on the sidewalls, and that's going to give David Olford in the Rod Ryan Show a victory. Man, it seems like that red corner just a little tacky tonight. That could be a problem as we go forward. Foley will cross the line. Unfortunately, he had that great race going, but that turn just kicked him up. Now the next race, Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune against Jim Kohler and Avenger. I don't know if it's just the lighting, but that Avenger looks a little bit more green this weekend than normal. But maybe it's also because we haven't seen it in a few weeks. Let's see if it'll help him get a racing win tonight in Houston. Now you also have to remember, this track already had Monster Jam on it a couple weeks ago, but it was the other series with a different racing track. So we'll see tonight. It seems like that red corner is a real problem in the final turn. Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune also slowing it down over the line, but wins the race. Jim Kohler unfortunately ends up flipped over. So that red corner in that final turn really causing problems, just like San Diego had a few weeks ago in the gray corner. Our next race in round number one, we have Corey Rummel and Megalodon taking on Barry Sauer and Zombie. Sauer, will he be the first one to be able to figure out that final turn and not flip over. It's a really tricky turn. And now Corey Rummel's up on two wheels in the gray lane. Zombie crosses the line first. He had no problems in the final turn. What's going on in those final turns tonight? Super, super tacky, and it's causing some serious problems. Now our final race here in round one, we have Chris Kohler Monster Mutt taking on Mike Christensen in Vendetta. Chris Kohler was up on two wheels for a majority of the berm there. Now we'll see how this race ends up being decided in the final turn because they're really close. They've got to be smart here in the final turns. Both are seeming pretty tacky. Both go slowly across the line. Chris Kohler almost made up the ground, but unfortunately for him, Mike Christensen held strong and won the race. Very tight in the end, and it's all going to come down to that final corner. We now move into round number 2 of Monster Jam Racing. David Olford, the Rod Ryan Show, takes on Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger. Son of a Digger has a small lead right now, but David Olford has already run on this track and won on this track. He is still way behind right now. How will Anderson handle that tough turn? Smart going into it, holding the brakes down, and he's able to carry plenty of speed out of it and win the race. David Olford came up a little short on that landing, almost flipped him over, but Ryan Anderson continues to dominate. No one can stop this man, and he is simply unbeatable as he continues into Houston. Caleb Blood and Soldier Fortune takes on Thunder Roar's Colt Stevens in this next race. We'll see if Caleb Blood can get herself a bit of an upset victory here. She is so far behind. Thunder Roar's looking smooth. How will he handle that final turn? Nice and slow and tight around that corner. He doesn't have a ton of speed going over the jump, but it doesn't matter. A massive victory. Thunder Roar's nailed that turn too. It takes the couple drivers that have to be the ones to test it out and fail, and that's why coming out of round 1 sometimes is a disadvantage, because now these guys that had the bye runs have an advantage knowing what they have to do. This next race, Mike Christensen, Vendetta, and Adam Anderson, Gravedigger, already underway, and already a huge lead for Adam Anderson. He goes into the final turn ahead. Another beautiful turn, and Adam Anderson also looking fast tonight. He is off to the semifinals. Mike Christensen will return in the skills competition. Very, very solid race there from Adam Anderson. It's the guys that can nail that final turn, but you also have to be fast throughout the rest of the track. This should be a pretty good race. Two really fast racers, Corey Rummel and Megalodon, taking on Camden Murphy in the Bakugan Dragonoid as we get ready to close out round number 2 of racing tonight. Corey Rummel just a bit behind. Camden Murphy, though, doesn't have as much speed in the straightaway, so Rummel made up the ground. The turn will decide it, but he's up on the side again! He got brought back because his opponent, Bari Musauer, couldn't come back in this round, and again, Corey Rummel makes the same mistake, and Camden Murphy wins the race. Wild! He did not make any corrections. Our next race is Colt Stevens and Thunder Roar's up on two wheels on the berm. And Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, his opponent, is going to get an easy victory in the semifinals as long as he doesn't flip over at any point. Going into the final turn, and I like how he's approaching it, taking it a little bit slower, entering it, but hitting the gas. Once he gets past that flip over point, he's looking solid tonight, and he's going to the final round again. Colt Stevens and Thunder Roar is a disappointing race there, but sometimes one little mistake like that will cost you a night of racing. He's lucky he made it to the semifinals, though, was able to get a couple extra points. Our next race is the second and final semifinal round race, and this is a battle for second place here on this series. Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid, 2 points ahead of Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. And you know both of these guys really want to win this race because both of them need to win racing. Camden Murphy's on the bicycle. He is all over the place. Adam Anderson with a good chance to make up the ground. He crosses the line as your winner and setting himself up really nicely to head himself back into second place on the comeback road. But he has one competitor left to beat tonight, and he has to beat him because he needs the points that he has lost in this series. We've got Ryan Anderson. We've got Adam Anderson, Son of a Digger, Gravedigger, head-to-head in the final round in Houston. Here we go! I love these matchups, and Anderson's both are doing great, but Ryan was up on two wheels there for a moment. It didn't slow him down. You can tell both of them are going so fast, but they're going to have to temper that in the final turn. Adam Anderson has the lead. He's nailed the turns tonight. Ryan Anderson in the near lane has not been in this lane tonight, but he gets the win because Adam Anderson overdid it in the turn. The first time Son of a Digger was in the gray lane, he had no idea how the turn was going to fare. It didn't matter because Adam Anderson sold in the final turn. Crazy. Adam had the win. He was about a truck length ahead, and he just couldn't do it. He had the pressure of his brother breathing down his neck, and unfortunately for Adam, he's going to lose yet another point on Son of a Digger. Man, oh man, Houston off to an interesting start tonight. Ryan Anderson celebrating as he is thrilled with the victory he just got, and I'm sure he's going to try and parlay that into a 2 or 3 competition win tonight and walk out of this weekend one event in the books with a huge lead. Our next competition is Monster Jam Skills. Joe Foley, El Toro Loco, is doing a slap wheelie. You can either do 2 moves on 2 wheels or 1 donut in this competition. Joe Foley displaying the slap wheelie, part of the 2 moves on 2 wheels there, looking very solid. Now he's on the front 2 wheels doing a stoppie to moonwalk. He has really gotten a lot better in the skills challenge, and a very good run for El Toro Loco gets him a 6.787. Good way to start off the competition, but a bit of a low score. Jim Kohler and Avenger couldn't quite get the kick on the stoppie there. He hit the brakes a little too late. Now trying the maximum moonwalk, and he can't even get a kick off of that either. So, 2 really disappointing hits for Avenger. It's a 2.963. Next up in this competition, it's Chris Kohler, Monster Mutt. Trying a bicycle. He's on the right side, walking it still. That bump gets in the way. Oh, he comboed it into a stoppie for a second. How did he do that? That was all momentum right there, and he kind of had to hit the brakes or he would have hit the wall, so worked out well. He's got 1 move left. He's on the right side in a bicycle again, but unfortunately that one sets down a little too soon. Monster Mutt is liked enough by the fans to take the lead at a 7.123. Next up, David Ulfert, the Rod Ryan Show. He's walking a stoppie, the best move we've seen so far today. The fans getting loud for him as well. Fans here in Houston getting a little loud tonight. I like that. They're certainly giving some solid cheers for these Monster Jam drivers as he will set down that first move. He's got 1 left. Walking the stoppie, a very good 2 moves so far. He's heading towards the step up, but unfortunately he hits the gas a little too hard and will set it down probably earlier than he would have liked. Still a good number though, 8.143. Here's Kayla Blood, Soldier Fortune. She's dancing it up on top of that pod and will set it down. A pretty good first move there, but she's going to need a better one here for number 2. Walks it down on the front 2 wheels again. Walking that stoppie on the nose, doing very solid here, keeping it in first gear to try and really control the movement of that truck, walking it back, and will set it down. Somehow that's enough to take the lead at an 8.473. I disagree with that. I think David Ulfert was a little bit better, but you know what? It's still not a super high score anyway. Mike Christensen Vendetta trying to get the stoppie walking. He's bouncing that thing, and a very interesting first move. Lucky he didn't have any more problems. Look like he also got a new hood this weekend. He almost took it off on that first move, and the step-up jump there will get him a 7.231. Next, we have Corey Rummel and Megalodon hitting the jammer, trying to get a slap wheelie, but he landed a little too soft, and unfortunately for him, that first move not going to get the job done. Let's see what he can do for the second. Man, oh man, disappointing second move for Corey Rummel, 2. Unfortunately, a 5.816 puts 2 Team Scream members at the bottom of the leaderboard. Colt Stevens, Thunder Oris, he's up next. Oh, he almost overdid on the stop. He overcorrects a little bit, but he's got it balanced now. Man, that was a very wonky move there from Colt Stevens and Thunder Roars. He's got 1 move left, trying the bicycle. Walking it, getting a little interference from that ramp, and unfortunately that's going to end his bicycle a little bit sooner than he would have liked, and it's not going to be enough, a 7.711. Here's Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid, and he really needs to get some points here because he lost some ground on Adam Anderson in this competition, and he already failed that first move. Man, disappointing. He couldn't quite get it up in the right spot, and unfortunately, he's not going to get a really good number there. Camden Murphy walking it back towards the step up here for the second move. He needs to really nail this second one. He's got it already up on the step up, but he'll set it down. Disappointing skills run for Camden Murphy, but he's able to get an 8.194, which the fans, a little generous there, will help him out. Adam Anderson, Gravedigger, trying a stoppie. He can't get it done. So 2 drivers who really need points in this competition, not really getting the job done. Camden Murphy and now Adam Anderson. On the left side for Adam, on the right side in a bicycle. All right, better second move than the first, but the fans didn't love that one. 6.827, that puts a real low down there. Next up, we've got Barimu, Sour, and Zombie. He's walking a slat wheelie, dragging the tail. Very solid move. Good to see Bari back. It sounded like he had some transmission problems in racing when he crossed the line in that race against Corey Rummels. So, nice to have him back here in skills. Unfortunately, though, for him, not going to be a huge number, 7.792. Your final competitor here in Monster Jam skills, it's Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger. He is walking the maximum moonwalk now, and really an open door. Soldier Fortune with an 8.473 is your score to beat, and Ryan is really showing off. Look at that move. Very solid from Son of a Digger, and he has one move left. Going for the bicycle with the hood just hanging off. Oh, he got a little bicycle, not too much though. Thankfully for him, the fans liked it, and they gave him a win in this competition at a 9.137. That is huge. I'll talk about why in a moment. We start off with Monster Jam Freestyle. Chris Kohler in Monster Mutt is going to lead us off. So why that is so big is because Camden Murphy finished in third in that competition, so he gained even more points on Camden. And Adam finished all the way down in eighth. So he gained some serious points on Adam there. Man, oh man, Camden Murphy staying solid in that second place spot. Monster Mutt all over the place here. That was a weird landing. So the points getting even further in the favor of Ryan Anderson. Whoa! Big sky wheelie for Monster Mutt. That was a very big move, and Chris Kohler is really needing to have a good freestyle here. He has not had much going on in these last 2 weeks, but so far it looks like he's ready to roll tonight. Nice little jumpies so far, sprinkling in some good moves here and there, which I like to see. And I think he can feel that pressure too. These last few weekends have really just not gone his way. And I think he knows he's got to step it up right now, or he might be losing his spot to be in the World Finals. Kind of in no man's land here, though. I think he wanted to hit this side of the backflip ramp. And he, in fact, is going to do that. Your first competitor out tonight hitting the backflip. And it's perfect. That was absolutely perfect on the landing. Some people might think that landing flat is perfect, but with a backflip it's not. If you land flat, you're going to hurt your back. So you really want to land on the front wheel and bounce it into the back wheel so that you really have a nice soft padded landing on the tires instead of just flat on the bottom. Solid run so far for Chris Kohler, but I'd like to see him maybe get one wow moment here at the end. He had a couple good moments early on, but nothing really since. The backflip was good, but he needs to seal the deal with a good move here. Lining up for some nice air. Lands on the cars. Gets a little wheelie afterwards. Maybe time for one more move. Nope, not quite. Time is up. Anything else is just for the fans. Doesn't count for scoring. He will stop it right there. A solid run for Monster Mutt, but an 8.657 is not super high, but I'm sure he's happy with that considering these last couple weekends in freestyle have been really disappointing. Next up in freestyle, it's the black and green wrecking machine, Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. Very, very weird to see Adam Anderson coming out second in freestyle tonight, but the order is the reverse order of how they placed in the last event. And he will start off with a nice leap. I also found out this past weekend that there's actually a different scenario there, that the winner of freestyle on the Stadium Series can decide whether they want to come out between places 9 and 12. So it is not exactly reverse order because the winner can decide when they come out in freestyle. So that's certainly an interesting rule that I did not know about until this past weekend. Adam Anderson finally picking up the pace a little bit. You can tell he's really trying to just get points right now. He needs to get himself a solid 9, and he's going to guarantee that he does that by doing 2 minutes, hitting the backflip. He really can't risk flipping over early. He has lost a lot of points tonight in skills that he really couldn't afford to lose at this point in the season. Time is winding down. There's still a little less than 3 months left in the series, but still, you can't let Ryan Anderson run away with it. Right now, Adam is really letting him run away, but a nice leap like that, and he's finally picking up the pace a little bit in freestyle. Going hard off of that jammer. That was nice air. Adam's had some pretty good moments here in Houston. He loves to get big air in this building, so we'll see if he can finally get something going. But again, like I said, he's definitely playing a little bit more timid, which is not a shock. This is what he needs to do. It's disappointing, but Adam can't really tear it up early on in freestyle. He needs to get that good number, and if he flips over a little too soon, it's going to cost him even more vital points. Going for the backflip, another important part, he needs to land this backflip, and you know he knows that. Thankfully for him, it is just like clockwork. Oh no, I think he might have he broke something in the back end there. Something didn't go right with that truck on the landing, a bit too hard on the backside. It seems like something broke, and unfortunately it did. And Gravedigger is not going to get a super high score. It's an 8.771. As David Olford, not Velociraptor, the Ron Ryan Show, announcing his presence a little bit. So Adam will take the lead, but an 8.771, you know he was really hoping to get a 9. He really needs to try and finish in the top 3 tonight, but... Whoa! Big jump from the Ron Ryan Show! Oh no! Oh my, on the sidewalls! Oh, man, almost a crazy save from David Olford there, but unfortunately, he's not going to get a score. He did not complete the minimum time. Next up, this is Mike Christensen in Vendetta. Well, David Olford, while he didn't get a score, he at least went out with a bang, but I'm sure he's disappointed that that's how the night ends for him, because that's the end of his weekend. No chance to redeem himself in front of these Houston fans. But that's another thing you also have to keep in mind with a one-event weekend. These drivers can really tear up the trucks because, first off, they don't have an event tomorrow, and they didn't have an event yesterday. So they're feeling fresh, and they really have a lot of time to fix the trucks if they need to. But obviously, we're still early on in freestyle, and we've seen a couple runs that needed to go the way that they did, with Chris Kohler knowing he needed to have a good run, and Adam Anderson knowing he needed to have a good run. You had two guys who played it a little bit safe, and then David Olford, unfortunately, landing with a weird bounce, ends his run early. We'll see if Mike Christensen can maybe tear it up. He's got a good chance to get a good number right now. Mike Christensen had himself a pretty wild move Saturday night last weekend in Anaheim. He had an unlucky bounce that ended up flipping the truck over. It was a pretty cool save, but the fans didn't give it the highest of scores, but it was still pretty cool, and it was a very weird event. Very weird weekend in general in Anaheim last weekend. It's nice to be indoors. I know my buddy Ryan Zielsdorf, who's an employee on this series, was telling me how, man, it is so great to be inside for a weekend. You don't have to worry about weather, and that series has been constantly barraged by weather. And that was the case last year, too. The series that was on the West Coast had so many weather problems, so I'm sure it's a breath of fresh air to be looking up and not seeing the sky for a few events. Mike Christensen and Vendetta having a decent run to this point, but he's really not going above and beyond. He's lining up for the backflip ramp. Let's see what he can do off of this. Nice solid landing for Vendetta off of the backflip. That was a clean backflip there. Only time for a couple moves left. This is the time that you really got to seal the deal, and that's going to end his run. A nice little jump off the step up there will finish it off. And a nice slap wheelie afterwards as well. Almost drove it right back into the tunnel. And Vendetta is going to finish it off right there with a 7.943. Colt Stevens Thunder Roars announcing his presence here a little bit too. Nice air. If I recall right, I think this was the building in which we had... No, it wasn't. St. Louis is the one that had all the announcing of the presence. It was the weekend after for Stadium Championship Series East. I don't really remember much of what happened in Houston the first time around. My Monster Jam memory is not as strong as it used to be because there's so many events happening and so much going on. It's hard to remember really everything. So now we're starting to get into the drivers who can lay down some really great freestyles. And again, Adam Anderson is certainly in that category, but because he came out second, he knew he really needed the points more than he needed to have a ragged edge freestyle. So I have no problem with him doing what he did. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way he wanted, so he needs some of the other drivers tonight to really get low scores. Colt Stevens lining up for some nice air, gonna soar right over the racing lanes. That was a big leap there from Thunderoris. Now coming back this way to get some good air too. Nobody's really had a great run so far tonight though. Everyone's really kind of playing a little bit safe. I'm sure that'll change at some point, but so far not the greatest of freestyle competitions. We are only a couple of trucks in though. So don't tune away, don't tune off, don't go away just yet. There's plenty of time. Don't you worry. Colt Stevens, though, he does not have plenty of time. He's got to do something, and he's really not done much of anything. Not much time left on the clock. He's going to go for the cutout for a nice jump. That was a good bit of air there, but he doesn't have much momentum, so it hasn't really been too exciting. Kind of let off before that jump, too. I don't know what's going on with Thunder Roars here, but really not a great freestyle. Still has time. I think he's got one move left in him. Nope, he's going to call it right there. So Thunder Roars, very strange freestyle, and he actually only got a 6.718, so pretty fair score there. Now we have Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger freestyling. This is very early for Ryan Anderson, too, and he's got a chance to be walking out of here with a huge, huge number because the score to beat is currently Gravedigger with an 8.771, and Ryan is playing with house money right now. He has some serious points. He is guaranteed to walk out of this weekend in first. He can just tear it up and really ensure a great number, and so far, we have seen a much bigger improvement momentum-wise than anyone else tonight. I've already sat up in my seat as I'm ready to see what Ryan Anderson can do. Nice jump! Locking up the brakes, trying to straighten that truck out, and he is certainly stepping it up a bit. Up on two wheels, able to settle her down. Now going to use the car stack for some nice air. So, Ryan Anderson sprinkling in that big air. This is obviously the best run we've had so far tonight. Pretty much every move he's done has been the best move of the night to this point, and that's not going to stop with that one. Still some more big air, and he's got plenty of time to take it up even a couple more notches. Really love to see when Ryan Anderson can put down a typical Ryan Anderson freestyle, and I would still say that he's only maybe driving at 90% aggressiveness. He's really not driving super hard because he doesn't want to end up costing himself the points. He's got a big lead right now, and look at that leap. Goodness gracious, that was a big jump. How can he finish off this run? He still has 30 seconds left, and man, the air tonight has certainly been great from Ryan Anderson. Going to the backflip with a lot of speed. We always love to see what he can do on this move. Comes up a little bit short, so there will be no moonwalk. Oh, he tried to bounce it into the wheelie. Couldn't get enough grip. Now he's going to try and finish it off strong. Big jump there. He's got a little bit of time left, and it's time for Ryan Anderson to turn into Ryan Anderson. He's definitely got time for one more move. Oh, no, he gets pinned there against the tunnel. Does he have any time left? The clock goes red. This doesn't count, but he's still going to send it one more time. Ryan Anderson ensuring that he finishes with a bang. Unfortunately, ate up a lot of time there at the end. It's a good freestyle. I don't think it's going to be a super high number. It's a solid 9.419. So Ryan Anderson, that is a higher number than I thought it would be. I was thinking more like a 9.21. But still, a good number for him. That puts him ahead of Adam Anderson in the point standings right now. And now we also need to see how Camden Murphy can do. But he's really set himself up to a spot that Camden, if he does take a lead, won't gain that many points. A for effort from Ryan Anderson today. He just continues to dominate this series. While I've been talking about that, Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune has gotten her freestyle started as she gets ready to try and have a good event today. A one-event weekend. You only have one chance to impress these Houston fans. Can Kayla Blood do it in freestyle? Nice jump there. Ooh, a hard bounce off the right side on the bicycle. That was cool. That was almost really bad for Kayla Blood, but she powered through it. So she's already got a wow moment. Look at that air. Soldier Fortune. Whoa. What is going on? This is, dare I say, turning into a better run than Ryan Anderson just had. Look at the speed she's carrying from move to move. Up on the side again. Barrel rolling. Kayla Blood. Where did this come from? She's looking like Ryan Anderson in that truck. Holy cow, I don't think I've ever seen Kayla Blood do this well. She's got some real problems in the back end. I think that's going to end her run. Now it actually seems like the transmission just gave out, but oh my goodness, Kayla Blood just had one of the best freestyles of her career, and she didn't even fill the clock. 9.260 will put her firmly in second place, and that's easily her best run of the night. But Ryan Anderson filling the clock got that higher score as he should have. And I'm not disagreeing that Ryan is your leader right now, but Kayla Blood just stole the show. Man, oh man, it was almost like Ryan and Kayla flipped trucks there. Just Ryan was like, I'm going to go back out again. That was insane. Great to see Kayla Blood really tearing it up. Now here's Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid. It's always funny because I know that some people don't love certain drivers and they always think they're going to be bad, but at the end of the day, if they do well, it's a good thing for the sport. The better a driver gets, the better it is for the viewing experience. So to see Kayla Blood having a great year like she is after the rough start she had. Oh no! Camden Murphy up on the sidewalls! That's trouble! He's able to save it. I don't know if he's up against that wall, because if he is, that's going to end his run. He was hit. The RII was hit there. That could be really problematic for Camden Murphy. And oh no, he is not refired. And so Camden Murphy is going to get tanked in the points in this competition. A 5.789 puts him in second to last. And Ryan Anderson is licking his chops right now because he knows that he just took a super lead on this series. And Camden Murphy just fell into the abyss of nothing. Unfortunate. Our next competitor in freestyle, it's Corey Rummel in Megalodon. And right now, not going to be super easy to win freestyle tonight because Ryan Anderson does have a pretty high number. But I will say it is very beatable, especially in stadiums, if you could really tear it up. And we've seen Corey Rummel have some burners this year. Corey did make a post. I don't remember when it was, but he did say that this truck has been having some real problems the last couple of weekends. I think it was transmission issues, so that really explains the slowing of pace for Megalodon on this series. It's been very clear that he is not driving the same, and I've been pointing it out every event, and it seemed like truck problems, so to see him say that, it makes a lot of sense, but I did see in that post that they got it fixed. I'm assuming it came after this event, though, because he certainly is not looking like that truck is really running fully functional right now. Nice jump there. Man, threw all the truck problems out the window with that one. Kind of spun himself into no man's land here. Really nothing going on. Ate up a lot of time. Now going to just try and get something out of it. You also have to remember he flipped over in the racing competition, so this could end up being that something that happened there is plaguing the truck right now. Going to the backflip ramp, it just doesn't seem like this truck is running right. Comes up very short on the backflip, bounces it off the nose. If he can't save it, it'll end his run. Oh, he couldn't get the gas in time. Too bad. Megalodon is going to have to settle with an 8.313. That is a frustrating way to go out, and it seems like the truck problem's continuing to hurt Corey Rummel here. Will it end up being that way for Jim Kohler in Avenger? He has had himself a good couple of weekends strung together now. Last weekend in Anaheim, the truck held up okay, but Saturday night he had a pretty disappointing freestyle because he just kind of flipped over too soon. And that flip over was definitely not... It was just a very bad and unfortunate break. It was too bad. And a night of weird bounces, that was certainly one of them. So far, nobody has really burned it up in freestyle aside from Kayla Blood, which is something I really don't normally say, but Kayla has to be feeling good because she won that freestyle last Saturday in Anaheim, and I'm sure she is feeling really good about herself. After this freestyle, she's got to be feeling great going into next weekend. I'm fairly certain this series returns back to Anaheim next weekend. We'll see at the end of the video, though. Seems like everybody tonight is just bogged down. I don't know what it is, but it's almost like everyone's driving in molasses. It's like, what is happening today? No one's getting any speed, no momentum. And I was starting to wonder, I was like, maybe I'm just in a funk and I'm not enjoying it. And then Kayla Blood came out, and I'm like, no, it's just everyone's driving really slow. There's no speed, no momentum, no anything. Nice jump there from Avenger, but it doesn't make up for the really slow freestyle he's had so far. Heading over to the far side of the track, going for that backflip ramp. He still has a ton of time left on the clock, too. There he goes to the backflip. Nice clean landing. Ooh, we got it on the rear wheels for a moment there. That was a good little turn into a nice move that really came from nothing. Nice jump. Nice air on the step up. Wow, he got really high on that. And I didn't think he would, considering he didn't have much run up to it, but that turned out to be really great. And now he's getting some big air right at the end of time as the clock expires right there. And Avenger will get an 8.314. Not enough for the lead, but still a pretty good number. Next out, we've got Bari Musauer in Zombie. Bari's had a bit of a strange day today. He had some transmission problems in racing that ended up keeping him out of the second round after he won his first round race. And unfortunately for him, that cost him a chance at a lot of points there. And then in skills, he had an okay skills run, but really didn't do much in general. So freestyle is a good chance for him to make that up and have a really solid run. Nice air, the zombie arms flying as he continues his freestyle here in Houston. But again, kind of keeping up with the theme of the night, which is a lack of pace, but not there. That was a good jump. I don't know if he was really anticipating to get that much air on it because he wasn't really getting much speed, but it worked out well and following him up with another pretty good hit. So Bari finally turning things up a little bit to this point in the run, but still could elevate it a little bit more. Hitting the jammer and gets a nice slap wheelie out of it. Bari Musauer, one of the best to do the slap wheelie in the sport. Oh my, he comboed it into a stoppie. How about Bari Musauer, a man who does not do many stoppies? Really whipped that one out of a hat there. What's he going to whip out of his hat of tricks next? It's the backflip. And a nice clean landing. That was a perfect landing on the backflip. We've got a couple really nice landings on the backflip tonight. Less than 30 seconds remain in the run, but he still has enough time to really get a solid number. Ryan Anderson, though, I have to think is feeling pretty confident about his run to this point with Zombie going because it hasn't been much better than Ryan or Caleb, but that is some nice air. Really got some length on that one. Ooh, it pushes him into the ramp, and unfortunately, that could have been way cooler than that, but it disrupted his momentum just a little bit, which he really didn't need to have happen and couldn't afford to have happen right at the end, and that is going to end his run. He's going to get one more move just for the fans. A nice leap. And Zombie, an okay freestyle here in Houston, but really nothing special. It still gets a 9.218, which will place him in third, and I have to agree with that. That was a pretty accurate third place spot for him. Next up in freestyle, it's Joe Foley in El Toro Loco. And if you can believe it, Joe Foley is your final competitor tonight. Oh my! Joe Foley! Oh! Coming out of nowhere with big air. He's feeling great, fresh off of a freestyle win, and this man knows he's got to put on a good event, a good freestyle here, because this competition has been pretty disappointing. Ryan Anderson still in that top spot in a 9.469, but Joe Foley trying to go back-to-back here. And I'll tell you, that leap was the best move we've seen tonight. Well, Caleb Ludd's was a pretty solid move, too. But still, definitely, man, Joe Foley has turned into an all-star out here these last couple events in freestyle. This is really great to see. I said it early on, he was not doing great at the beginning of the season. Freestyle was really slow. He wasn't really picking up the pace. He's gotten settled these last few weekends, and I'll tell you, Joe Foley might be in the top 5 freestylers on this series. Look at that air using the racing lane. Very solid run. The pace has slowed down a little bit, but he's not a guy who flies around the track. He gets the big air in those wow moments, and that'll do tonight. Ooh, he hits the step up crooked. Thankfully, no problems with the truck, but at least it looked a little bit different, and now getting some nice air too. This is a good freestyle. If he can get one more wow moment in there, he's got a shot at taking over Ryan Anderson. Here he goes for the backflip. Making sure he lines up and hits it straight. We'll see if he can get something crazy off of this without much time left. Nice execution on the backflip. He had it in reverse. I think he was going to try and do the moonwalk. Oh my, flying again! Using that same ramp, and he comboed it into a little stoppie and a moonwalk. Joe Foley is a superstar! Where did this guy come from? I'll tell you right now, Joe Foley is one of the most exciting drivers on this series right now. That was fantastic, and it wins him freestyle by 0.05 of a point. El Toro Loco is your freestyle winner, and oh my, that was spectacular. Man, oh man, and I have to say, I agree. He had those 2 giant leaps in there, Ryan Anderson had a consistent bit of air, but he didn't have any wow moments. Joe Foley had the 2 wow moments, and he sealed the deal. One event this weekend, and he goes back-to-back in freestyle by tearing it up. Holy cow, Joe Foley is so on fire right now, and it is great to see. Now, with the freestyle competition in the books, let's see how this event ended up shaking up these series point standings, because it certainly is going to give Ryan Anderson a big lead. And there you have it. Oh my. 29 points lead for Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger after this one event weekend. I'll tell you, Ryan Anderson might have just sealed up the series right there. And what I think really stands out to me is that Barney Musauer and Zombie is now only 50 points out of Adam Anderson. So Camden and Adam have just fallen off a cliff these last few weekends. There's still a ton of time left for them to make it up, don't get me wrong, but I'll say Ryan Anderson is absolutely dominating, and Camden and Adam needed big points tonight in order to really be in a good contention for this series, and right now, they really fell off this weekend, and somehow, Camden is still in second after what was a really disappointing freestyle, but Adam's skills run really killed him, and I'll tell you, this is wild. This series has been so much fun. Let's see what's here to come on this channel, commentary-wise. There you have it. We go to Tampa, Florida, Raymond James Stadium, and one of the most legendary homes of Monster Jam. We have back-to-back days this weekend, and I did it on purpose. Tampa is always so much fun, and to get an opportunity to see events back-to-back like this, I think is going to be really cool. And then you look next weekend, take a look a little bit further down. We also go to another legendary home of Monster Jam, Minneapolis, in US Bank Stadium, and then we go back to Anaheim for like the 18th time this season as well. But the upcoming commentary schedule shows some really large promise, because these venues are really cool and oftentimes lead to some great events, especially Tampa. We've got a little bit of a driver change up in Tampa this weekend. It's a positive and a negative in a lot of ways, so you'll have to find out what that is tomorrow night. I will see you in the next one.